Hey there friends, and welcome back to Your Life Rocks. My name is Jenny Stemmerman, the founder of Your Life Rocks, and if you are a working Christian mom, then this is the place for you to get tips and inspiration to create balance in your life, at least redefine what balance might look like for you. Now, a few months ago, I did a video talking about homeschooling and being a working mom, and really wondering if I could do it because seems like a lot. Now, of course, when this whole issue came up, I had some experts come on the Redefining Balance podcast, and they shared their wisdom, really inspired me and gave me hope that maybe, just maybe, I could do this whole homeschool thing. It's something I've always wanted to do, but as a full-time working mom, it just seemed completely out of reach. So I'm gonna link to that video right up here so you can check that out. We also did an article in our lifestyle guide. And if you don't yet have the Your Life Rocks app where you can get the free lifestyle guide, I'm gonna link to that down below. Make sure that you go and check that out. Now in this video, I'm gonna give you an update, a realistic update on how it's actually going, managing, working, and doing all of the homeschool stuff. And mind you, when I say homeschool, I'm not talking about distance learning, like actual homeschool. I'm gonna share with you what we're doing because we have found a way of getting the curriculum practically for free. So I'm gonna be sharing that with you, as well as our schedule and how I'm able to make it all work, kind of. At least we're trying. And then stick around to the end of the video because at the very end, I'm gonna share with you 3 tips that I have kind of learned along the way that I wish I would have known when I first started. And to be honest, some of them I'm still kind of learning, but we will get to that at the end of the video. All right, so first up, how's it going? Like really, how's it going? I'll be honest, it's been tough. It's been really, really hard. Now they say all of the hard things in life are worth it, and I definitely think that at the end of the day, homeschooling my kids is going to be one of those things that's worth it, but it has definitely had a number of road bumps along the way, and we're still experiencing those. And you know, it's just like anytime you do anything new, it's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve and trial and error and trying to figure things out, and there's gonna be stressful moments, and there's gonna be moments that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that we're doing this. But I will be honest, I am kind of at the end of how much I can take. My bandwidth is full, completely full. I've probably been dropping the ball in some other areas, and I wasn't necessarily dropping the ball. Let me correct myself. There are some priorities that I've had to kind of let go or loosen my grip on in order to fully focus on trying to get homeschool done and hold down my full-time job and still do all of the other things like, you know, taking care of the house and doing all of my other goals that I'm doing inside of our Life Balance program. So it's been a little bit chaotic. It's been a little bit crazy. And honestly, I'm finding that it has become a priority for me to take care of myself and to give myself quiet, alone time. It could just be because I'm an introvert. I don't know. But realistically speaking, that is how it's going. I could use some more quiet time. Now next I wanted to share with you what we are doing, because when I first started looking at homeschool, I will be honest, the price tag to a lot of the curriculum and just looking at how much stuff they send you was a lot. I am not a person who likes to have a lot of stuff around me. I wouldn't say I'm a minimalist, but I do like to get rid of things quite often. So to have more stuff in our lives just was not necessarily something that was appealing to me, and spending a ton of money was not something that was appealing to me as well. So I was so happy that I was introduced to a program called Easy Peasy Homeschool. Now the cool thing with the Easy Peasy is that it is a Christian-based curriculum, which I absolutely love, and it's basically free. Now you do pay a small donation to the creators of this, and honestly, I would pay 10 times what I paid for it because it is that good. It literally, you put in like the courses that you want them to take, or really the subjects that you want them to take, and then they give you like all of the stuff. Now it is all online, and you can buy some of the books from Amazon, but it's really like on day 10, click on this link and read this article and answer these questions. And it's great because for a lot of the subjects, my kids can kind of do it on their own, and then I can check in. And then there's other subjects that I enjoy doing with them, and they really kind of need me right there alongside of them. And so we do those subjects together. But it's great because you can kind of reorganize them. You can add in your own subjects of things that you want to teach. So for example, I needed something a little bit simpler for the math. And when I say simpler, meaning like I could assign it and then go in and see what their progress was versus doing it right there with them and checking their answers each and every single day. I had to find some things that help me balance a little bit with my other obligations to my time. So we went with Khan Academy, which is also free for things like their math. And then we're using another program called Duolingo for Spanish curriculum. But other than that, everything is done inside of Easy Peasy, including studying the Old Testament, which I love that they have that in there. Now, I will say this, I am a bit of a history nerd and I love all things history. So I am kind of designing my own curriculum for them with history, using some other curriculum and books and things that I have purchased that are out there. And then we're also doing the same thing with life skills. Right now, my kids are learning about routines and schedules. Duh, because that's what I teach inside of the Life Balance membership and at Your Life Rocks on the podcast, here on YouTube, and so many other places. And so why not teach my kids those same lessons that I'm always trying to teach them kind of in the margins of time, but make it something we're actually studying and giving them assignments on, which is awesome. In fact, you can see over here on the whiteboard, I'm just going to turn the camera a little so you can see that map right there. My kids did as part of their history assignment. I was so proud of them. They did a timeline and they did a map about the colonization of North America. So cool. Now, as I'm bridging from kind of what we've been doing to the schedule and how we're making it all work, I do want to add that I knew I couldn't do all of this myself. I really needed a community. I mean, after all, Your Life Rocks, right? We talk about putting Jesus first, living in community, and having systems. And so I know I needed community. I needed to expand my community to involve some other homeschool parents and families in that. And so we signed up our kids for karate lessons. So they're doing that 2 mornings a week. It's just like 45 minutes, but allows them some physical activity, helps them with some focus and some social interaction, which is really, really great. Now, we've also joined a homeschool co-op that meets every single Friday afternoon from 1 to 4, which gives me a little bit of time back and to have some of that quiet time I was talking about at the very beginning of this video. But then it also gives them some social time and allows them to really dive into some other subjects that we're not covering every single day in our homeschool. So that brings me to our schedule. Now, one of the main reasons that I was super excited about doing homeschool is the flexibility, because my work is kind of all over the place. Generally speaking, the businesses that I run are closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. And so that's been kind of our business weekend for a number of years. However, the kids' weekend is always Saturday and Sunday. And so we always felt like we were in conflict or, just running a million miles an hour in a million different directions. And so with homeschool, we've been able to kind of shift the kids' schedule to match our schedule. So that's the really cool thing. So now their weekend, our weekend as a family, is Monday and Tuesday, which allows Monday for me to work on things for Your Life Rocks, because this is not my full-time gig. And then Tuesday is our family day where we can go and do other things as a family, go on some adventures, which has been awesome because a lot of things are open on Tuesdays that are fun to do and they're not crowded at all. In fact, Tuesday sometimes is a discount day, so it saves us even more money, which is awesome. Now, the day-to-day schedule has been a bit of a challenge. I will tell you, we have rearranged our schedule, our daily schedule, and what we're doing and how we're doing it just about every single week, because we're still trying to find that right rhythm. So essentially for us, Mondays and Wednesdays, the kids have karate. Friday, we have our homeschool co-op. And then other than that, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, those 4 days a week, they're doing their core assignments. Everything that I talked about that we were doing in Easy Peasy and the stuff that I've created for them, we're doing all of that on those days. Now, Sunday is a catch-up day because it's also church. And so church is school. So we're doing that. But then it's also a catch-up day where it allows me to go in and sit down with each kid and look at their assignments, see how they're coming along, how they're progressing. If there's stuff that they missed or stuff that I'm like, I think you might want to go and redo that one when I do little spot quizzes. It allows them some extra time to be able to do that. Now, as far as fitting everything into my schedule, I'll be honest, the first week, we were spending like 4 to 5 hours a day on top of working like 9 to 10 hours a day. I was exhausted and I was like, I cannot do this. This cannot be the way it is. But I was doing every subject with them. Now, my kids are 11 and 15. They don't need me sitting there with them when they're doing every single little thing. And so we've kind of figured out like what things that I need to be there for, what things my husband could be there for, and what things they could be doing on their own. And then depending on the work day, we kind of ebb and flow it in. So typically most days that they will do one subject with me and we sit down, and then that way I can like look and see, okay, what do you need to be doing today, so I can give them some direction. And then I will get started into working, because I'm working primarily from home right now. And then while I'm working, they're doing their home study. And then when they're done doing their home study and I have a breaking point, then we will go and continue our homeschool together. And then they're done for the day, and then I go back to work. Now it is a little bit of a juggle, and it is definitely like switching gears a lot, which I'm finding the older I get, I don't like being interrupted so much, but it is what is working for us right now. And it seems to be okay. So as an example, I've already worked today, and I'm re-recording this video because I didn't like the way the first one turned out, and I needed to edit it and get it turned around and published back out there. So my kids are done with school, so they're doing some fun stuff with their dad right now, making pizza for dinner while I'm recording this. So it is a lot of back and forth, and we're still trying to figure out what that right balance is for our schedule. But so far, it's working pretty good. So if I know everyone's schedule is a little bit different, but if you think about it this way, I probably spend close to 2.5 hours a day with them doing homeschool activities. So if you work until like 5, could you do that after 5? Could you do it earlier in the morning? That's the cool thing, is you have total flexibility. Okay, so this brings me to the 3 lessons that I wish I would have known before we started. Number 1, there's no right way to do homeschooling. When we first started, I was constantly asking people in our new community that we joined and other people I knew, like, how do you do this? Like, give me the step by step. Tell me what it is, how you do homeschool. And the thing is it's different for every single family. And I think I knew that going into it, but I didn't give myself permission to live into knowing that when we first started. And now we're just starting to get into that ebbs and flow. So for example, if there's something that we're doing that is taking us a little bit more time, then, you know, maybe we'll brush off another subject until the next day, and then we'll double up on it then. You really can make up your own rules as long as you're providing, you know, good education to your kids. It's not like traditional school where it's like, this is how it has to be done. Doesn't have to be done in that way. And so, you know, I wish I would have known that. Number 2 is that there's a lot of things that you can double up on, AKA history and reading. So I wish that I would have been a little bit more thoughtful in planning what it is that we were doing so that we could kind of double up on some of those things. Because right now my kids are doing a lot of different things, but I keep telling myself it's for the best, right? They're getting a good education at the very least, which I think is really, really important. And the third thing that I wish I would have known when we started, like I said, we've done a lot of trial and error. Just about every single week, we're trying something a little bit different. We're moving around the schedule a little bit, or I'm trying to do something a little bit different the way that I'm prepping or educating or following up with the kids. And I wish when we first started that we would have like done baby steps, but instead it was like, okay, let's jump in, let's do it all at once. And then it just became very, very overwhelming. Whereas if we would have started being our first year homeschooling, kind of doing one thing at a time and slowly moved into it, I think it would have been better results for us. Because again, going back to number 1, you can do it however you want, as long as you're getting the job done. And so having that freedom and having that flexibility, we probably could have eased into it a little bit, but we kind of ripped the Band-Aid off and just jumped right into the deep end of the pool, and now we're trying to learn how to swim. So that's super fun. And I'll tell you a little secret. I am definitely putting into play a lot of the things that I have learned from a lot of our parenting experts from over the years on the Redefining Balance podcast. And if you would like to hear some of their advice, make sure that you click on our parenting playlist, because there you can get all of our past podcast episodes with all of the brilliance from our parenting experts. In fact, we have playlists for every single area of life that as a working mom, you are trying to balance. So make sure you check out those playlists, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.